Good day, YouTube. I am here with the one and only, my friend, Derek, also known as Lakers Sparrow. If you know anything about the Lakers as far as YouTubers out there and collectors, my opinion, I've always said this, is that Derek has the best Laker collection that I've ever seen. And I haven't even seen it in person. I want to go to his house and check out that museum. Derek is a big Laker fan. We met through YouTube maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago.
And he let me know when he was going to Denver. We met up in Denver, my son, his friend Vic, myself, Derek. And then a year later we went to Utah. We met up in Utah. He's part of the Lakers Road Dogs, and they've seen incredible amount of arenas. So here I am with Derek. As you can see, we have some of the jerseys out, the Lakers. We're still fans through thick and thin. Derek has been featured on, what was that one?
Well, through television,
Yep.
Time Warner Cable. They've been to my house. They did about a 5-hour shoot and only about a 5-minute clip. So that was the first time, and then I had LA Weekly come over for just a quick little article on their website, and then I did one for privates. I think it was 2 German guys. They came over to my house and they were doing like a documentary just on diehard Laker fans, and they found me also through YouTube. And then they came over and they paid me $40. Did about maybe a 2-hour clip for only about a 4-minute, maybe 3-minute little
Video.
on video. Yeah.
And that video, all of these videos that we're going to talk about, and among other things, I'm going to put Derek's link at the bottom of this. You have to check it out if you've never seen it. Even if you don't like the Lakers, it's one of those things that I've had people say either on my channel, and I think I've seen it on his if I'm not mistaken, where people say, you know what, I don't like the Lakers, but I respect your collection because of its diehard fans. Like I said, he's been featured on a few videos as well, incredible videos. These German guys that made this video made an incredible video out in Los Angeles, and Derek was part of that. So let me ask you, I bet you have endless amount of stories with Lakers. He lives in Southern California, so this is a free for all for you. Tell us about when you go to the games, the experience as Lakers Sparrow. Tell us about when you go to the practices, because that's where you meet a lot of these people.
Yeah.
The Summer Pro League in Vegas, and among other things, your road dog travels. It's all yours.
Well, at least with Summer Pro League, it's going on right now. This is the 2nd year in a row that I have not gone, which I feel pretty bad. But what a lot of people don't know outside of like my Laker traveling is I do a lot of my own separate traveling. Like kind of what I'm doing with you here, and family in Arizona and in Denver during my off season from the Lakers season. I'm usually doing a lot of just traveling around, sightseeing, visiting national parks, which we did. So that's kind of what has kept me away for the last 2 years from Summer Pro League, just my own personal travels. But with the practice, that's kind of something that I like to do during the year. Kind of go with some of my local Laker friends, road dogs, go there, meet the players, get some freebies sometimes. Like if we're lucky after practice, they'll give us maybe one of their towels, or it could be like a shooting shirt. It could be something minor. If not that, then we're just satisfied with them stopping and signing a few autographs. Usually during the year though, I try to balance out how many home games and road games I'm going to. So it really just kind of depends. As soon as like the schedule comes out, then usually me and the road dogs, my buddies, will get together and we'll try to coordinate which games we can actually do, because 3 of the 6 of the road dogs have already done all 30, which is Lorraine, Christian, Jiggy. Me, Victor, Dez, a few of the other ones have quite a ways to go, but I'm the 4th in line at 19 arenas. So I'm trying to get to the last 11. So, you kind of have to find like that balance and coordination between, which games are most important, that are more of a priority than others. And then when I'm home, it's trying to figure out what home games I kind of want to go to, because I can really go to any, and I get offered so many free tickets, I actually end up turning a lot of them down because I've already got plans or something going on. So as for home games, I kind of don't really pick and choose. I just kind of go with the flow. If I know like Christian or some of the other road dogs are coming down, I'll try to scoop up a cheap ticket. And what we'll do is get just a cheap ticket to get in through the door. And we all go up to Dez's section, since she's a season ticket holder. we'll just go to section 313, and we'll just go there and kind of hang out, rep, have a good time, catch up, and that's really about it. I mean, so home games I don't find as amusing, as appealing as much as the road games. That's where I kind of like the atmosphere, going and repping. It's not so much being an arrogance to the people that are there. You know, we just try to go rep our team in our fashion, but we don't try to go and try to cause like a ruckus or anything. But as for this year, the schedule hasn't come out, so I don't know what games I'm doing or anybody else. So once that comes out, then we'll get coordinated and see what games we plan on doing.
Okay. Now, Derek talked about, he started off by saying he's been on the road, and he has. I'm also going to put a link to his Instagram. He does a lot of beautiful scenery, nature, waterfalls, incredible photography. You have to check out his Instagram channel. Now, when you go to games, tell us about the experience that it is, whether it's a home game or on the road, as Lakers Sparrow.
You know, I never actually expected to turn into what it has. Anybody that knows me as well knows that usually for every Halloween I dress up as Jack Sparrow, which is, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I've worked on the character throughout the years to where I kind of have it down. Going back maybe 6 years ago is when the Jack Sparrow Halloween character kind of transitioned into a Jack Sparrow Laker fan. So I found some of these pieces that just I just threw together, and I was at a Halloween store, found a purple and white wig, painted the white part yellow, slicked my own locks back, and put the wig over, put the bandana on.
And tell us about the beard too.
The beard, yeah. Well, I mean, that is real. It's not like an extension that I put on, but it's something that at least during the Lakers season I kind of have to keep year round, because if I decide to go to a game last minute or go to a Laker autograph signing, I kind of like to be in like full getup. That way, the fans will appreciate it. They'll recognize me, some of the players, and trust me, with my getup, I've been able to connect with a lot of players where I've gotten a lot of like freebies and game worn stuff from them, even like at the practice. So they'll stop. My getup's kind of hard to miss. So they'll see me as they're coming out of the practice. And I'll be like, oh, there's my boy Sparrow. Like, what's up, man? What do you want me to sign for you today? They'd be signing up. So it's cool. I mean, they definitely recognize it. But with that, I feel incomplete if I were to shave or trim my mustache. It kind of has to all be together. So during the Lakers season, I usually will keep that. And then once the season's over, then I'll trim it kind of like how it is now. Okay. And I'll grow it back out once we start getting back into the flow of the season. But the character just grew really, really quick. And my road dogs are actually the one that gave me the nickname Lakers Sparrow. They're the ones that gave it to me. So
I've had the NBA League Pass for a few years, and you'd be surprised how many times I see Derek on television, and not only at the Staples Center, on the road, whether it's Arizona, whether it's San Antonio, and other places as well. What about your interaction with players? How has that been?
I think they seem to find it really appealing. I don't know. I mean, when they see a fan that goes that far into dressing up and traveling like me and like you and some of the other road dogs do, I think they really do appreciate it. Some of the new cats that are still kind of feeling the team out and it's only the first year there, that they don't know. The guys that work for the organization, the staff, the front office, some of the guys that work for the TV commentators, all those guys like Michael Thompson, Stu Lance, Bill McDonald, those guys have been doing this for a little while now, so when they see us on the road, we definitely stand out because of our bright colors from like head to toe. So either we'll go up to them or they'll call us over, a small chat, get a picture, and you just kind of go about it like that. But the players, sometimes aren't quite sure like what to expect. They don't know if they're just like a really crazy super fan, if there's someone that's just looking for attention. I've kind of seen that before, so some of the players have kind of backed off from that, be kind of hesitant to sign. But for the most part, a lot of them think it's cool, especially the get up. I remember my conversation with Dwight Howard at the Lakers practice facility. He was in the back seat. They rolled down the window. He was signing some stuff. This was around the holidays, and he was just like, wow, so you look like Johnny Depp, man. And I'm just like laughing, right? And everyone else is like, oh yeah, dude, like you totally do. And he's like, "Oh man, like I'm gonna sign it for you, but only because I like Pirates of the Caribbean movie."
That's awesome.
So there's stuff like that you definitely remember, and they'll definitely remember the next time they see me. Like, oh, yeah, there's that guy, that's always at the Laker games, that's dressed up as like a Jack Sparrow Laker wannabe. So it's fun, but you never know what the players are thinking, nor the fans. I mean, you're always gonna get people that are talking, shit to you, but it is what it is. So.
What about? I want to move on to your collection.
Okay.
But before we do that, name one player who was maybe the absolute coolest consistently every time you interacted with him.
That would probably have to be Sasha Buchert, hands down. He's always been super cool, very friendly. I think we got his jersey back there.
Yeah.
Ironically, yeah. I forgot he was back there. I've been to numerous signings of his at the practice facility, in person, like a free signing, public signing events. I went to one private event of his, and every time he was very consistent with the fans, his generosity. His signature has changed throughout the years. It's gotten a little bit worse, but I mean, at least he signed it, so I'm not going to complain about that. But he's always been really, really cool with the fans, which is one thing that I always look for when I'm meeting players is how will they interact with the fans.
Okay.
And he's always been one that's been really, really cool. Luke's been really cool too. I've had really good encounters with him. I could probably sit here all day and tell you like a list, but
Good.
I mean, those are just like a few that popped in the top of my head.
All right, so now let's talk about his collection. What would you say is your number one prized possession? What is it? How'd you get it? And why? Because you have literally a museum, from what I've seen on YouTube.
I have a lot of stuff, and he's still yet to see it. So
around the entire room, it's the walls, it's the ceiling, it's the restroom, it's
the
closets.
hallway. Yeah, and my bedroom is even bigger. It's bigger than this office. So I have a lot of space in there. So with that, you're talking about 70 signed basketballs. I have at least hanging 35 signed jerseys, let alone all the other knick-knack stuff. But it's really hard to choose just one. I always get a lot of people that ask me.
Yeah. Same
what is
question?
one? Oh yeah, people.
Give us a handful of possessions that you enjoy.
Well, I think some of the ones that sit closer to my heart, that put a lot of time and effort in either finding or making, would probably be the custom board that me and my dad made of the Great Western Forum and Staples Center. And real quick and brief, we made that by just cutting up coffee stir sticks into 3 different sizes, gluing and pasting them down on this board, filling it in with a little like wood filler, sanding it, painting it, and then just doing all the minor details and having all the players from that time frame sign it. So after we finished it off, we glossed it, then had the players sign it. As we go, when we get an autograph, we'll just clear coat that so it won't like come off or scratch or chip. So it's the same for both the Forum and Staples Center. So those are really cool pieces that are kind of just one of one.
Exactly.
Anytime we take them somewhere,
How big
nobody
is
else has them.
If you had to.
They're pretty good size. They're probably about like 25 by like 16. So they're bigger than a 16 by 20 for sure.
Wow.
But
And you're right, it's one of one.
It's one of one. So that's one of the things that I definitely add at least on top of the list. When it comes to items I've been looking for and searching for a long period of time, there's some of the Forum floor pieces that I have that are the actual floor pieces from the Forum when they moved from the Forum to Staples Center. I have a piece, 8x10 piece of those that's signed by all the Laker Hall of Famers except the most current one, which is Shaq. So I have all the 70s, 80s Laker Hall of Famers on there. So that's a pretty cool piece, including Will.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really cool one. Other than that, I mean, I have like some stuff with like the whole team. I have something with Magic and Bird. I have something with Kobe, Karl Malone, Peyton, Shaq. That whole like trio, or the was it 2004 team? I think it was. We had Shaq, Kobe, Peyton, Malone.
Mm-hmm.
I got a piece signed by all of them. Just having like just under 100 signed Laker jerseys too kind of goes in that category because it's taken a lot of time to get a lot of those signed. And as you know, I think I've told you before, I've put in a lot of effort tracking them down, finding them, and then sending them out and hoping I get them back.
Mm-hmm.
I've even told you that there's been some jerseys I never got back.
True.
So you take that risk, that gamble, but it is what it is. So
Out of your jerseys, which one or two is your prized jersey?
I would probably have to say my game worn 1-of-1 Christmas Theo Ratliff. That one was really cool. I got that one a couple years ago. Well, maybe it was more than a couple years ago after he left the team. It was like freshly the year after he left the team. I saw it, won it in an auction, got it for a good price. Found him, tracked him down through Facebook. He said I could send it to him. I sent it with a tracking, make sure it got there, because wouldn't you be kind of hesitant to send the...
I wouldn't send it.
I know, I'm daring, so I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. So I sent that to him as well as a picture I took with him at the practice facility. So when I included that in the package and he signed that, he sent a little note back saying like, oh, I remember you at the practice. Thanks for supporting. I'm happy to sign your jersey, yada, yada. So that one's really cool. I'm glad I was able to have a little story that goes with the jersey. So that's pretty cool, the fact that I was able to find that and get it signed. Other than that, I don't really know if I have one that comes in second place.
Okay.
I mean, just having all of my jerseys, authentic or game worn, it's been taking me a good amount of time to find a lot of those. So,
we have a funny story. Derek's been here for a few days, and we've shared so many Lakers stories. And one funny Lakers story that it's between Derek and I is, where do we get our jerseys? And if I don't win, who wins, or vice versa?
There's been countless times, man, where I was on one side of the computer watching, maybe the last couple minutes of this jersey with Hugo's head, or with Hugo in the back of my head thinking like, I really hope he's not on the other side of this screen watching this same jersey. Mm-hmm. And there has been a couple of times at least where either we were both watching and I came on top, or vice versa. Yeah. He has at least a few, I know for sure the Madsen and a few in his closet that I was watching. Actually, even this Glenn Rice one, I was watching him. I think it was a buy it now. And sometimes if you wait too long, you just miss out.
And vice versa, because you have the Evans, Maurice Evans, Radmanovich. So that's an
Tracy
interesting.
Murray, Corey Blunt.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a few. So it's about even.
It goes both ways. What I want to do now is maximize our time. And it's not trivia, because this guy knows stuff that I don't know. I'm like, who's that? Oh, really? Give us a few players that you've enjoyed over the years.
Just watching?
Watching. 2 or 3.
Going to my first Laker game in 98-99 season, I was actually really fortunate to catch Dennis Rodman in a Laker uniform. That was actually really cool. And I've always liked Rodman even before he came to the Lakers, because I kind of started watching basketball through the Bulls once my dad took me to my first Laker game at the Forum.
Who else besides Dennis Rodman?
Probably Shaq and Kobe, man. At least with the players that I was watching during the time frame of when I was going to Staples Center, those were some of the players that I was really fortunate to watch. Seeing Rodman, I want to say it was probably like his second week with the Lakers, being able to catch him, and then seeing Shaq and Kobe and all the young nucleus of players that we had leading up into that 99-2000 season, up to the three-peat. That was actually something like pretty cherishable for me, at least in my memories, going to all the years of going to Laker games.
Okay.
But
other players that you've met that were really interesting and very nice consistently?
Well, the one that comes to the top of my head is probably like Sasha Buchert, which ironically we have his jersey back there. Luke Walton's another one. Brian Cook's another really nice guy. I've had some encounters with some of the players that I thought were nicer than they actually were, and it's kind of disappointing. So to see, and have some of these experiences with some of these players that you aren't quite sure about, that are kind of more like bench warmers or, just non-starters in general. It's nice to meet a lot of these guys and then be like really generous to the fans, to the public, and do a lot of these public signing events. And again, like Sasha and Luke, and just to name a few, Radmanovich is actually really nice. These guys did a lot of public appearances and were always super generous to the fans. So that's always nice to see, and I appreciate that too.
Okay. What about, is there a player right now in the NBA that's not a Laker that you'd like to see down the road be in a Laker uniform?
Well, one guy that I've always liked that has played consistently every year for this team is Kawhi Leonard. I mean, I think he plays a small power forward, I'm not quite sure. But that's one guy that I'd be like, I would love to see that guy in a Laker uniform, just on his work ethic. Greg Popovich being his coach, and the coaching staff and the scouts that they have working for that organization, they do a really good job of seeking out these players that you never even heard of, and they come in and make almost a direct impact. But just the way he plays, he's such a sound player, almost even kind of like Duncan in a way. I mean, they just go and get the job done. I think what was he, sixth man or MVP or he got some kind of award. Maybe it was in the last couple of years. I don't remember exactly what it was or when it was, but he's been one that's always kind of been on my radar. So that'd be kind of cool. I know most people would say like LeBron and stuff, but
The thing about Kawhi, though, he is with a class act organization, the Spurs, and the trend that I've seen with the Spurs is these people, these young guys that they bring in, end up staying there for a long time.
They
Look
do.
at Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, David Robinson.
Yeah. And it may be the same for him. Who knows? San Antonio is not, like you just said, they're one of those organizations that doesn't trade off their better players very easily, unlike other organizations. I mean, they try to keep them around for a while. I mean, they work out whatever it is that they talk about when it comes to like salaries, and contracts. But he's just one player. I don't know. I've always liked. So when people ask if there's a certain player out there, probably besides my boy Trevor Ariza, he used to play for the Lakers. Kawhi Leonard's been one that I wouldn't mind having on our team. But
Okay. I asked you earlier, what arena that you haven't been to that you'd like to go, and you said,
well, there's a lot, but I think the number one's probably Boston. I have not been to the Boston Garden yet, so I have been there for a Kings-Bruins game, but totally different atmosphere. I mean, hockey fans are completely different from basketball.
what do you think the Boston fans would say when you show up with your entire Lakers Sparrow?
I'm sure they would appreciate it in a sense. If I've seen a Boston fan come into Staples Center like that, I'm like, especially if he's, let's just say hypothetically he's by himself, I'd be like, dude, this guy's definitely got some balls. Be coming in here full decked out Celtics gear, one of our arch rivals. But at the same time, something would tell me that this dude is a Boston fan from heart. Either he's from there or runs in the family or something like that, or maybe even flew out. I would get, if I were to talk to this person one-on-one and were to find out this guy were to have flown out from Boston, then he would have gotten utmost respect. But yeah, I mean, you don't know. I mean, a lot of people are just gonna like judge. I mean, most of the people there are probably be like, oh, Lakers suck, or go back home, or whatever. But I think it makes like the rivalry though. I mean, when I went for the Kings and Bruins game, we still got heckled a little bit because we were in full out. Me and my road dog Christian, we went full decked out Kings gear. We still had people saying stuff, but they were telling us like, oh, like if you were coming to a Celtics game in full Laker gear, you guys would be hassled like all game. They said we're nice, so we're not gonna give you guys as hard of a time. But I'm sure we would get hassled, but I would already know that going in. It wouldn't be a surprise to me. I've already been to 19 arenas, so it wouldn't.
You know what to expect.
Oh, absolutely.
Last question is, do you enjoy going to Lakers games more at home at the Staples Center or on the road, and why?
By far on the road. That's where it's at. That's where the energy's at. That's where you're going and representing your team, especially when you're flying from one location to another. Not only do you want to get your money's worth, and see your team win, but that's where like the atmosphere of just going in another arena and representing and having that feeling of walking out sometimes with a win, it's just a good feeling that you don't get at home. You're against the crowd. You definitely stand out, at least in our colors.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no comparison being on the road to home. I mean, I would definitely be on the road majority of the time if and when I can. I mean, but it just comes down to, what the prices of the flight tickets are, and what the game tickets are going for. So all that kind of plays into, a big old role depending on whether or not we actually go to the game.
Okay.
Me or the Road Dogs, but
Do you
the
have
road is
any-
where it's at, man.
Do you have a question for me?
You have a pretty big jersey collection yourself, so what jersey are you looking for that you don't have yet?
Oh, that's a great question. There are a few, but I like number 20 and I like number 21. Josh Powell.
Josh Powell.
I've seen one. I should have
That's
bid
right.
on it several years ago, and I didn't. So I'd love to have a Josh Powell jersey. I'll begin with that.
Nice.
Thank you,
Dude,
Derek.
Thank you, man.
Derek, also known as Laker Sparrow, check out his YouTube channel, link at the bottom. And equally impressive, his beautiful photography of nature. His link on Instagram is at the bottom. Hope you've enjoyed this.